Did you know that our childhood experiences shape our beliefs? They shape how we see ourselves, how we see others, and also how we see the world. Well, this is true, and these beliefs and perceptions also reflect on how we relate with others, more so relationships. They inform the kind of decisions we make when choosing a partner, when handling conflicts, and generally the kind of people that we are. So join us today as we try to understand and investigate how our childhood experiences affect our adult relationships. On set, I am joined by a guest. She is a doctor by profession, a psychologist, and I will be your host, Kate Riro. So don't go anywhere, don't touch that dial, subscribe and share. We'll be back. Welcome back, people. And as I had told you earlier, we have a guest in the studio. She is a doctor. She has specialized in family and gender. So I will let her introduce herself.
Thank you so much. You also forgot to say that mental health is my specialty.
Oh, okay. That is, you will do that in the introduction.
Okay. Thank you so much for hosting me. Yeah, my name is Becky Gitao. I'm a mental health and gender specialist. And like you've said, yes, family is part of gender. And that's what I have been doing for the last 19 years. And I'm still doing. And I'm looking forward to keep doing anything to do with the issues of family, issues of gender, issues of mental health, because I live to fulfill three purposes. To help people thrive mentally, socially, that is how they relate with people, and financially.
Wow.
Because once they are better here and they're able to relate and network with people, then they get money. Yeah.
Well, it's so good to have you in the show. Thank you for coming. And we had said today we are starting an episode where we shall be talking about relationships, and specifically we are tackling how childhood experiences affect our adult relationships, because I think that people are unaware of how much impact their childhood experiences have on who they are as adults, the decisions that they have made, and those decisions have made them who they are now. So as we start off, I would like you to start us off by telling us what is the importance of us and other people understanding their childhood experiences.
So thank you so much, Kate. And when I talk about childhood experiences, I relate it with a tree. So when you see a tree blossoming, when you see a tree giving us very good fruits, when you see a tree looking green and all that, we tend to think that, oh my God, that tree is so good. But nobody thinks, where did this tree come from? Because the genesis of that good, beautiful fruits, beautiful tree, beautiful flowers, beautiful leaves and all that, the genesis, it's at the roots.
Yeah.
It's the same with us, human being. That who we are today, who you are today, who I am today, and some of the things that I do have a lot of influence on my childhood experiences. Whether it's how I relate with myself, how I relate with people, and how I also relate in the relationship. It has a lot. And so the question you asked, why is it important? It's very important because I know that if I understand where I'm coming from, my background, my childhood experiences, then I'm going to work on them instead of transferring them to the relationship. Yeah, that's. I think I've answered your question. Why it's very important. Actually, I was telling some people somewhere that when you go for counseling, premarital counseling, nowadays we don't do it like we look at now. We look at your childhood experiences because we know part of relationship problems is their experiences. So that way we are able to know what are your baggages, what are your partner baggages, so you're able to deal with them before you settle. Yeah.
I always thought it's a cliche, like, because I have gone for therapy myself, and then the therapist will start by asking some questions about your background. So I always wondered, what does this have to do with what I'm going through now? And I think that's important, like knowing that your background is your roots. Whatever we see blossoming, whatever fruit we see, it is because of the root, which is your background.
Sure.
So when does this experience develop?
Okay, we call it human development and personality. By the time that baby is 0, when you are 0 in your mother's womb.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. To the age of 9, that's when we say the brain is being formed. Okay? I know so many people, and I tell young parents, they don't understand that when they are pregnant, the baby hears.
Oh, okay.
Very well. If you're angry, the baby will be angry. If the partner, maybe the husband, is making noise, there is a lot of fight in the house and all that, that baby can hear.
Okay.
And because for many years I was a teacher for lower classes, but now I teach adults, you could tell a child who has issues at the age of 1, 2, 3, because he's a child with a lot of aggressiveness, anger, and all that. If you look at how the mother was behaving or what the mother was going through at the age of 0 when the baby is at the womb, now that can tell you a lot. So between 0 and 9 is when now the brain is being formed. That is what we call personality. Okay. You see, this baby is very empty. The brain is clean empty, unless there are of course, there are other comorbidities. Maybe the child has other challenges. And so because that brain is very empty, is now when the caregiver, it could be the parent, could be the guardian, wherever the baby is growing. Now that is the time they are putting that personality. They are inserting. And that's why you see it's very easy for me if I can give birth to a child, maybe, I'm from Mount Kenya and I go to Kisumu and the surrounding, they're speaking their native. My baby will maybe taking that native because the brain is empty. So that they will learn that language because it's empty. That's how personality looks like. I think I have put it in a very basic manner for anybody to understand.
Wow, so 0 to 9 is the most.
It's crucial. That is where now this tree that we are talking about is where you're putting all your fertilizer, all your manure, you're watering so that this tree can become what you want it to become. So if this child is growing with emotionally absent parent, abusive, toxic environment, all manner of negative things, it is being registered in the brain. So now that child, now when they become an adult, now that is what will be replaying. Because that is what the brain knows. Yeah.
Wow, that is like interesting. So I also know that there are, stages to development. Like at 0 age, there are I don't know, you'll tell me. At 0 age, there are certain needs that child needs. From maybe 1 to 3, there are specific needs for that stage. Maybe could you tell us more about like those stages and the needs for each stage and what happens if those needs are not met?
Okay, I may not talk about all the stages, and these stages are very important. They have been studied by different theorists, but to summarize, especially 0 to 1 to 18 months is where the baby is breastfeeding. Is where now the baby is developing trusts. So this is a very crucial stage, because the baby, that moment when the mother is breastfeeding, if the mother is absent, I mean you're breastfeeding, but mentally you're absent.
You're clocked out.
Breastfeeders, you know how mothers, you're doing social media, all over. So there's something you're teaching that baby. So you are detached. The baby is also detached. And let me tell you, there are babies who don't breastfeed for several reasons. And so we encourage mothers that you have to put them here. Because we have different reasons. Some medical, many reasons why you're not breastfeeding. You must create that time and make sure that you're holding that baby, because you need to insert that trust. There is that also stage where the baby now is running to crawl to go to the toilet. Your presence and how you are helping that baby to negotiate. If the baby feels left out and alone, so that baby might also develop some also personalities, like because you're projecting, whatever you're projecting is what that baby. If you're always shouting, stop, you remember, stop, and you don't give the baby solution. Your work is always stop. So this baby knows how to be aggressive.
Okay.
And so that's why you see, we have so many people who are very aggressive, but they don't have solutions, because no solution was taught.
Okay.
You know, if this baby is also growing at that point when they need to be heard, to be listened, and then you are dismissed at that stage. Again, these are the people, as adults, they're very dismissive. They have dismissive personality. They lay back, they are withdrawn, they're there, but they don't know how to socialize. You know, if this baby is a baby who now is always brought up, and I'm saying with a lot of respect, brought up only by the house managers, you see, they grow with mistrust.
Okay.
They mistrust themselves, the world, and everything. So they start second guessing themselves. They have no confidence. So there's a lot. But basically, what we are saying is that whatever you project to this child between 0 to 9, it's always important for a parent to know is the child of tomorrow. And they are very clever. Sometimes we think they're children. They are not. Even that baby who is in the womb can hear. They are adults in their own world of children. Wow. So they get it. They get you're fighting. They get you're not happy. They get you're hiding. So they will also start hiding things.
They can read the energy.
Exactly. And that is the energy they start taking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I think most adults are at fault of, treating toddlers and babies as people that should be just seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Like adults are guilty of that, because most of the time they think that ni mtoto hawezi elewa, ni mtoto hawezi shikanisha. But wow, that is very interesting.
Yeah. You see, have you ever had people who say, nakaa huku, or I stay here because of my kids. But they are very, very bitter.
Yes.
I keep on saying, it's just being selfish. You're not there because of your kids, because your kids can tell you're not happy. And you're teaching them to hide things, to hide emotions, never to express. You're just there because of your own fears. Because children grow very well in a family setup. However, they're looking for a stable parent. It could be one, but not seek to parent.
Who are unstable.
Yes.
And always fighting.
Yes.
Okay.
You're projecting, remember you're projecting that personality. That now is what you're telling them you will be tomorrow.
Okay.
Because you think you're hiding, they can tell. They can tell mommy is not happy, daddy is not happy. And now you said something. So when you come to counseling, that is the first thing we ask you. How was your upbringing? What can you remember between 0 to 9? And most people, they remember a lot.
Wow.
A lot, because we know that is what now could be affecting your relationship now with yourself, with other people, with your partner.
And speaking of like family setups where it's better to have one parent who is stable than two parents who are unstable, what are some of the other like experiences that a child can experience in upbringing that can affect their, later lives?
Okay, I think the first one is absent parent. And here, absent parent always think that just absent being away. You can be there, but emotionally you are absent. That is one of the greatest undoing of the today's adults.
So you'd rather be absent physically?
Yes.
Okay.
Than being there. And unfortunately, we are in a very bad era of social media, where you're seeing all of us, we are busy. So we are all absent emotionally. So what we are teaching this child, not to be flat, no emotions, to be avoidant, to be very insecure. Because you don't know, because you run to mommy, screams at you. You learn to daddy, go.
Yeah, because they don't want their time disrupted.
Yes, and also maybe even them, nobody taught them how to be warm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So emotionally absent. Something else, abusive environment. Whether it is verbal or physically. That's a very problematic issue to a child who is growing. Because one, you are creating fear in this child. So they are developing now what you're saying, childhood experiences, and with time, they become trauma. Yeah, with time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because we are speaking to adults who are now, have experienced these, whatever we are talking about now. They are now adults. They are in relationships, and some people experienced maybe abuse. And I think we talk about abuse, we talk about violence, BV, but we've never talked about people who grew up being the caregivers. Maybe they were caregiving their parents because they were sick, mentally ill, or they abused drugs. What is their place in their childhood experience?
Okay. So that one, we call them parentified child. A parentified child is one who became a parent as a child.
Okay.
And again, problematic because they don't know how to be children. They are always taking care. Okay? So they always take care of people. They even don't know how to take care of themselves. These are some, and I'm not saying everyone, these are some of the adults that are just too good out there.
Oh.
Because they were shown to take care and not to sit down and allow to be taken care of. And they, remember, in their brain, they know this is the way things. They know for them to be accepted, they have to take care of others. They have to go out of there. They have no boundaries. You see? So they are always too good. So when they come home, they are drained, they are angry.
From moving mountains.
Yes, so people.
Crossing the ocean.
Yes. So they have to be real when they're at home. So they're very problematic at home. Yeah. This is where we also get the narcissistic traits. Most of people who develop narcissistic personality disorder, majority of them are parentified children who either took up the parent role, or grew with emotionally detached parents. Parents who maybe provided everything, but they never provided emotions, who never listened to them, who were never there for them. because nowadays maybe there's a shift. As we were growing up, even us, our parents were, are you going to school? Do you have school fees? So anyway, even as we knew, as long as there is school fees, what else do you want?
Yeah.
And there is githeri. What else? And so most of us grew emotionless. So we grew not knowing what is love. You see? So even expressing, we grew without knowing how to express ourselves. Personally, when we went to high school, I went to a prestigious high school, and I found girls there who say what they want. And I was shocked. I felt they are very uncouth.
Oh, because they were speaking their mind.
What was this speaking their mind? And I'm like, are this normal? And so what was good with me, I was hiding myself in church. So I looked like a corrected girl. So I want to be the reader of the CU. And everyone else who is speaking their mind, they are not born again. They're very bad girls. Evil. Hell is their destination. But you see, we were broken.
Yeah.
They knew, because they grew where they knew how to speak to their parent. Their parent would speak to them. We grew speaking to who? Exactly.
Under my roof.
Exactly. Now you see, even the choice of our partners had a lot of issues. You know? Because it's like you're very vulnerable. You want someone who can save you. You see, you want someone who...
Alejandro.
Yeah, because you... chaotic.
Okay. And now, speaking of that, I'd like us to shift a gear a bit and talk about attachment issues, as we also talk about the effects of these experiences, because I think attachment issues and the effects of these experiences are intertwined. So, what are some of the effects of now growing up with absentee parents, growing up, in a physically abusive home, sexually abusive home? What do we become now when we are grown? Like someone who has been in such an environment when they were young. What are some of the characteristics that you can look at? Useme, huyu mtu amebeba a lot of baggage. Yeah.
So now, and you have said something before I come there, a sexually abusive families. Then we forgot to say, even at that age when you're sexually abused, it's another problem. Because now, and you didn't talk about it, you develop another personality, another character, let's say another character that is also undoing for your life. Okay, so now going to that, when now you grow with this emotional absent parent, abusive, in an abusive, toxic families, all that, now it now gives you negative experiences. So those are the experiences we call trauma.
Okay.
So that's what we call childhood trauma. Okay? So when you develop that trauma, trauma is a piercing of your brain. Your brain has been pierced. So, and because that brain is painful, now you must protect it. So now you wear another cloth that is protecting it. Okay? You could be very insecure. It's another cloth. Because now you want to protect that wound. So this is a partner. If I'm very insecure, you can imagine when I'm choosing a partner, I'm looking for someone to give me security, to protect me, affirm me, validate me. Yeah. My life rotates
around them.
So anything small in that relationship, I'm like, you don't like me, you don't love me. Someone who is insecure, I'm suspecting, because That has been my life. Maybe another one is very avoidant. I avoid to discuss crucial information, crucial conversation. I avoid. I provide, but anything crucial, very avoidant. Ring back. Because I don't want to trigger my pain.
They hold back on the
Yes.
information that might make them
Yes.
vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay.
I may become dismissive. Forget about it. So I may become anxious. So I want to protect. I want to go out of my way. I want to be so protective. You know, like I want you to be around me because I want to protect you, because it's reminding me maybe you can be harmed, I can be harmed. So you become somebody else. So in a relationship, you develop, now those are the clothes that we call attachment. You know, I become so attached in a negative way. But there is one that we call secure. This is someone who is able to express, to say this is not right in this, and you discuss. Okay? But now just imagine this is your partner who is very insecure. Anything, even a cup, when you come with a new cup, I will suspect.
Hey, who bought you
Who
that?
bought you that?
With what
Why are you wearing that white dress? Where are you going? So insecure. Who are you talking to?
Concern.
No, it looks like concern. I may say it's concern, but because I'm hiding. Why were you talking to that person? Now I start thinking, oh, because I'm used to very insecure life. Oh, so now you're leaving me. So again, they become aggressive. Then the relationship start being abusive and all that. Did you see where it started?
Yes.
Okay. So you want, now imagine you have this partner, you want to discuss things. And
They are always dismissive.
Yes. What are you lacking in this house?
Because they think if they have provided you with material things.
That is enough. Remember, I've given you the story of our childhood.
Yes.
So there's nothing else. Are you going to school? So they don't know anything else. Am I paying school fees for the kids? Do you have a roof? Is there food? What else? But now you are maybe a secure partner and you're wondering, that's not what I want. I want to sit down. I want to hold hand. They're emotionally empty. They can't. They don't know. But they are good people. But remember, it's because they have childhood wounds that we are calling trauma. And until they deal with that, there will always be chaos. So that's why you're seeing a lot of relationship has chaos. Now, this insecure attachment, it can be draining because this partner, whether female or male, relies on you on validation. But they can't tell you you're good.
They can't give what they're seeking.
No. They don't know, remember?
Okay.
So you didn't tell me I'm smart. You didn't say thank you. You know?
Are you telling some other guy or some other girl that she's beautiful?
You can imagine.
Okay.
You get drained because their life surrounds your validation. When they go to the extreme, now they become narcissistic. Where now, because now you as a partner, sometimes it's very hard. Now they rely on people. They're too good to people because people will say, thank you, you're so good. They will even leave you without food and go
And give
out there because they have a wound that needs to be bandaged. They need a painkiller. So they need to be told you're good. They need to see people happy, courtesy of me. You see? And so imagine now you as a partner.
It's draining.
You get news there. Oh, your wife, your husband has done, and you're like, but we didn't eat yesterday. You know?
That is abusive.
they are okay in their head. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like us to like do a little matching. Like when you say anxious attachment, maybe you tell us someone is anxious. If someone is anxious, they are showing these signs, and it's stemming from the lack of A, B, C, D. If it's insecure, A, B, C, D signs, and then it's stemming from this experience from childhood.
Well, let me tell you, it will be hard because people develop different. But now, what I can say, if whatever I said, we have this emotionally detached parent, absent, abusive, all that negative, okay? It will affect us differently. Maybe my sister becomes very insecure. Me, actually, if you see my sister, she's very composed and very laid back. And we all grew together. Me, I'm very aggressive because I was still protecting them, you know? Very aggressive. If you come my way, I will. Okay? I have another brother who developed, and you see, differently. So, one, I may be very insecure because I have learned that I can't be trusted, and I can't trust my parent. So I'm growing not trusting anyone. And I'm sure you have heard people saying, I have trust issues. You see? Now, I get this partner. Okay? So something small happens. And now I start developing trust issues. Maybe I will not tell you, but with time, I'm banking them. Remember, it's a combination of so many things. I have trust issues, and I don't know how to express myself. So I don't trust you. I'm hiding them, so I'm biting them. And I'm like, you continue doing that. You see, okay? So one day, I'll just
explode.
I am insecure, but I say as it is. So I'll keep on nagging. Oh, you don't like me. Oh, I saw you speaking to that woman in our pro. Oh, you see? So it's very dynamic. I'm anxious, and every time we are talking, I get anxiety. You know? And maybe I keep quiet. So with time, I start developing panic attack because I don't talk, anxiety, and something small triggers depression. See, it's a very big disease, if I would say that. But it's the genesis of so many problems in our marriages. I don't know how to solve issues because we didn't solve issues at home. My parents were dismissive. It's an example. Not that they're dismissive.
Yeah, they were not dismissive.
Yeah. So we don't know how to solve issues. So I keep, you keep. I keep, you keep. So by the time we are coming, it's full. Yeah. And what? We are both exploding. Let's go for divorce. We are compatible. We are, because both of us have maybe attachment styles where
different attachment
yes
from different experiences.
Yes.
That can be a bit tricky.
Yes.
Because I wanted to know, like, how does a partner cope with these styles of attachment? Because you might be anxious and I'm insecure. Like, how do we cope with
toxic? It's very toxic. So what happens is that we drift. Okay? We start drifting, and that's where you see partners looking for different coping style. So one partner becomes a workaholic. They are always working, they are always doing things. If they are not workaholic, they are always in church, even us, praying. We think they are going to heaven, but we're just running away from problems. Other partners maybe running to the bars, different. These things that you see, because we can't solve both of us. So we must look for ways to, and when we meet, we can't agree. We're always fighting.
Because everyone is coming from their own perception.
Yes, yes. Imagine two traumas.
You're interpreting things differently. I'm interpreting things differently.
Exactly.
That is tragic.
And that's why you see partners telling the other part, I wish you can see my world. I wish you can see where I'm coming from. And true, where I'm coming from is real. But also where you're coming from is very real. Because my world was a world of, your world was a world of calmness. So I don't know anything else. Yeah.
Wow. So as we are talking about like remedies and how we can treat, like, what can you tell partners? Is it incompatibility or there is hope? Is there hope? Sasa hiyo ni incompatibility and there is nothing we can do about it?
No, there's a lot of hope. And that's why we are saying all we need to do, we need to stop tolerating each other. You know, many partners are tolerating each other. So let's, because si tulioana. Tuvumiliane, but deep down you know there's something you're not getting. And out of that, if partners really want to save, they can look for therapy because it's a wound. Those experiences form a wound in your brain. And that wound can be treated so that you start appreciating yourself and liking who you are so that you're able to appreciate your partner. You stop being selfish. Because also selfish is a trait. Because we learned when we were growing up, kila mtu na inchi yake, take food, go eat by yourself, you know, a lot. So very selfish world. So there's hope here. There's hope. We just need to come for therapy.
Okay.
Therapy works, I tell you.
Now, like, where does someone start, like, your investigation? Yeah? Like, I might be an anxious person, a person with anxious attachment. Like, how do you start now, like, kujijua hivyo until you come to a place where you're like, I think I need help in order to be a better person?
Unfortunately, we're now with those attachment styles, the avoidant, the dismissive, the insecure, the secure. Only the secure is able to reflect on themselves. They have the capacity. The rest with all those experiences, sometimes it's very hard to reflect and say, I need help. We want to see other people. You see, other people are the problem. Actually, I would be better if my parents did this. Imagine at my age.
You're still blaming.
I would be better if my husband. And there's nothing like that. You can be better, first of all, if you can sit down and ask yourself just one question: who am I? Why am I always anxious, angry, bitter? Why? If you're able to ask that question, it's the beginning of your healing. But now we are not able. We just want to see. Remember, we learned as we were growing up to hide other things. See, Mimi, Niwale, we learned that. Blaming. So even your failures, your mistakes, you want to blame if the government, if my boss, if.
It is every other person.
But not me. But now, I want to tell people, actually, you are the problem. Yeah.
Tell them as you're facing them.
You are the problem. And the moment you'll sit down and have the capacity to reflect on you inside is the beginning of your healing. Because you'll ask, what can I do? How have I contributed? Because you have control over you, but you have no control over other
people and what their actions.
And what they are thinking and what they are doing. But over you, you have control. Yeah.
I think that is very powerful and a very good place to ask. Like, you sit down and yourself and ask yourself, why am I this insecure? And you have to call it out by name without, sugarcoating ama kujidanganya. Like, if you're an insecure person, call it out by name and ask. If you ask, that is where your healing begins. So, like, what are, like, the other remedies for, like, how can a person heal or break these patterns of, hizo experiences and traumas? Mtu anaweza, how can that person break those patterns and begin the journey of healing?
Okay. I like the way you've talked about breaking those patterns, because I see so many Christians, and allow me to say this, being told that we need to break generational curses. They are not generational curses. They are generational trauma. Because you see, I got them from my parent. My parent showed me insecurity and all those, emotionally absent, avoidant. And exactly the same I'm doing to my children. So, like, for example, I have a 25-year-old. So he'll treat the girlfriend with what experiences he has from our family. So it is a whole pattern, because maybe we weren't present. So he grew with absent parents. We formed insecurities in him. You see, we never validated him when he was young. You see, so he's going to rely on validation. So he will be a people pleaser. You see? So to break this, we must not start saying, even my grandmother never got married, or even my father. To break is you.
Yeah.
It's just to look at the pattern that even your home that is being presented. Or if you look at your sister, if you look at your mother, and say, no, this is the end of this pattern. And I need to start now working on me. There are people who you tell them, love yourself. They're like, how? You just appreciate who you are without the way you can love somebody and say, oh, I like you. I like you, Kate. You need now to start talking to, I like you, Becky. I like you. And that way, when you start appreciating yourself, you're breaking that pattern. Because now you stop relying on people's views and opinion. You start relying on your own opinion.
Wow, that is very powerful and eye-opening. Because, apart from, as we said in the beginning of the show, apart from, like, the effects on relationships, whatever you've gone through as a child will affect your whole personality, how you relate with people in business. If you are a mat and you let everyone walk over you, how you make decisions that impact your life, the kind of partner you choose, the kind of a parent you will be, if you will pass down the same traumas to your children, that will be dictated by how you were brought up. And if you will get somewhere and say, enyewe sasa mimi Kate, like, where am I heading? Like, am I willing to take up these whole patterns zenye zimekuwa kwa familia yetu? So I think that's a very good place to start. And that will be the beginning of your healing journey. So I don't know, Dr. Becky, as we are winding up, maybe you can give us a parting shot, a word of encouragement.
So I will tell people something that I keep on saying, and I'm doing a book on that. You are who and what you meditate on every day. So if you keep thinking how bad things are, because from home things were bad, they'll never be good. And whatever you meditate, you medicate. So what you think day in, day out, that's what becomes you. So today we're talking about trauma and childhood experiences. They could have been bad. Yes, most of us had the worst. But now, changing it, we changed it from our brain. The brain is breathing, and the only person that can heal that brain is me and you. Me and your therapist, and maybe your prayers. And the big chunk is you, is that person. By just resetting your brain, by every day changing what you meditate on every day. When you're getting into that matatu, you are meditating, I am a good person. I am a good person. Things gonna change. I'm the one to change. You meditate, it becomes gospel truth. So finally, I want to tell them that your life always moves towards the direction of your strongest thought. I want to repeat.
Okay.
Your life moves towards the direction of your strongest thought. It is researched, it is gospel truth. So when you look at your life, compare it with your thought.
You are a product of
Your thought. So if you don't like it, then change your thought.
Oh, okay.
And change your life. Because what you think and think and think and think, your life, it's like a weed, will follow that. You think you're successful, you're the best therapist, like me, I'm the best therapist. I wake up, sleep knowing I'm the best therapist we have in the country.
And that is what you have become.
And I have become, because opportunities even present to learn new theories. Because you see, your mind, to learn African ways, you see, because your mind and your life, your life will follow the strongest thought you have.
Wow. I don't think I can add anything to that. I think I will leave people to ponder on that. Thank you so much for coming. We have benefited so much, and sure you are the best therapist. So I'd like you to tell people where they can find you. You also have a YouTube account. You can tell them about it. And she's also on TikTok. You follow her. And where they can get your services if they like to do therapy.
Yeah, okay. One, I'm a professional therapist by training. Kusoma nimesoma miaka mingi, miaka karibu 20. By the time you're doing your PhD, it's not a joke on one area of mental health and gender. Anyway, I practice at Aga Khan University Hospital, and I also have my own clinic at Renana Road. So you can hit my inbox for booking in all the social media, from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all have one name, Becky Gitao. So you can just go there, follow me, and make sure that you can book your therapy, because I'm telling people this year we're going to win. But you can't win when you don't have good head. So you need a good head. So you need therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this year we are going to win.
We are winning.
The way we are going to do that is by changing our thinking patterns. I think that will be my motto for the whole of this year, that I will change. If I see something going wrong in my life, I will go and investigate what I've been thinking. Change your thought patterns and you will definitely change your results. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is all the time that we've had. I've been your host, Catherine Ruiro, and bye.